Summer 2013. J.J. Abrams calls Lawrence Kasdan to discuss writing Star Wars Episode 7. Hello?
Hey Larry, it's JJ. I just wanted to follow up regarding Daisy's character Kira, Rey, and who she might be related to.
That's a good idea, JJ. You know, when we wrote Empire, George really shrunk the universe down from this big war to a connected family and made it all about relationships, and I love that type of storytelling. So that's a good idea.
Okay, great. So, I have an idea. I have a hat here and some ping pong balls, and I wrote the name of a famous Star Wars character on each of them. So, I will jingle them around, and we'll pick one out, and we'll connect Rey to that character. Okay, we're jingling, and we're jangling. Here we go. It is Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi. So we're gonna set her up as a Kenobi.
Okay, JJ, but I prefer her to be connected to Han Solo. He's my favorite character, because...
That's great, Larry, but the balls have spoken, so let's go with that. It will be incredible. It's gonna be great. So I'll see you tomorrow for lunch, and we can work on this.
Okay, JJ, I'll get us a table and order an appetizer. I'll see you then.
Sounds great, Larry. Can't wait. Okay, bye.
Welcome to the Resistance Broadcast, everybody. I'm John. Thanks for joining us today. James and Lacey with me as always. So there you have it. We found out how JJ and Lawrence Kasdan decided to connect Rey to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ping pong balls. It's as simple as that sometimes, folks. It's not a big deal. You just jangle some ping pong balls around and pick out a name, and there you have it. So were you guys surprised that that's how they came to that decision?
Did Lawrence Kasdan write Balls of Fury?
I don't know. He wrote a lot of movies. I don't think he wrote Balls of Fury, though.
Maybe it was JJ.
Maybe.
Definitely Balls of Fury inspired.
The ping pong balls really added to that. Thank you for that.
Little special effects. And also, it was almost like the sound of ping pong balls is a very unique sound. Like when you listen, when you were a kid, you ever watch like the lotto things? And they got those, the air machine and the ping pong balls are banging around. It's a very unique sound. So
your numbers are.
There it is. Yeah. And they turn it, they turn the ball at the camera. Yeah.
7.
I had no clue what was going on back then. I was like, what's going on? Yes, that's an 8. I know that's an 8. And then there's like a 4 like trying to get up, but it can't.
It doesn't
like
make it.
Underneath it.
Yeah.
I always thought it was funny when you watch those, you'd see like sometimes like 2 balls would go in at the same time, and you'd be like, imagine if the other number is your number, and you're just like, come on.
That's what I just was thinking. It's like you're like 4, 7, 21, 8, and then it's like
3
and 3, but then like yours is 5, and you see the 5 like underneath it.
It's I don't play the lottery, just because they say like you have a better chance of getting hit by lightning twice than winning the lottery, or whatever.
And like attacked by sharks 7 times or something.
Yeah. So I always remember watching that because I think my grandparents played the lotto or whatever. Somebody played the lotto.
It's also just late at night. They do it before like the next show.
Yeah, it'd be like between Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune or something.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. But there you go, JJ and Lawrence doing that. So we had that exclusive,
How many
very
ping
not
pong
fake
balls you got in your house?
Cool. Well, I used to be an avid beer pong player.
I already knew as soon as you said it.
You're such a bro.
Yeah.
I used to. I'm actually. I played not too long ago. I want to say like maybe a year ago.
He's a recovering BP.
I'm a recovering beer pong player. I used to be very good back in my college days.
But mode engaged.
I found I'm not that good anymore.
I could probably own you in that game. I'm not just saying that.
We can do. You want to do a Patreon video?
I'm really good at beer pong.
One-on-one beer pong for
and
Patreon.
Flip Cup.
But no elbows over the table. That's all I'm saying. All right.
Okay.
Flip Cup, I'll destroy everybody. It's not even close. But
why? Because it's a solo cup.
Correct? And you know who's good at? You know who's also really good at Flip Cup? Lawrence Kasdan. And he's not only just a decorated writer.
He probably is, and we have no idea.
I wish I had a cup to practice doing sound effects on that for. But speaking of Solo and Kasdan and all that stuff, we are going to be doing another live stream coming up on September 25th. But it's going to be different than the other one we did a week or so ago. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/resistance broadcast. One of the perks is we do audio and video commentaries of Star Wars movies, and we're going to start doing The Mandalorian soon. And we just happen to be hitting our next goal thanks to people signing up recently. So thank you, everybody. And the next goal happens to be Solo. And Friday, the 25th, September 25th, is the 2-year anniversary Solo hits home video. And the 2-year anniversary, unfortunately, of Make Solo 2 happen. So we're 2 years into the movement. But what we're going to do is a live stream of the commentary. We're obviously not going to have the audio or the video of the movie up because it'll get taken down. But we'll have some kind of ticker on there so you know where to join us via Disney Plus. And you can watch along as we do the commentary and light up the chats, all that stuff. And we're also going to have, hopefully by then, our Make Solo 2 Happen pins available to purchase. And also we're going to bring back the red shirt and our other Make Solo 2 Happen merch at a discounted price. And it's going to be a good time celebrating Solo once again because we love it. Love Solo. I know we're in the early stages of planning that, but you guys a little fired up to do a little mini Make Solo 2 Happen type of day?
Yeah, of course. I'm like I've said before, like I'm always the kind of the technical, like how are we going to make that thing work or whatever. But that was the first thing is like, yeah, we'll put the movie up, and then we're like, oh shoot, we can't do that. So we'll have to figure out exactly all the ins and outs of it. But I know that we've had so many people join our Patreon just to get us to that point. So I'm actually really excited to do that one. Yeah, in particular as well. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really fun. I'm probably just gonna yell out random character names. You know when Therm comes on.
Darth Maul.
Therm says our punch. No, I'm really excited. It's definitely, I think, the most fun Star Wars movie that's come out with Disney. So it's just going to be that much more fun to watch. Plus, we have the whole campaign and everything. But, it's one of those Star Wars movies, like I said, that you leave feeling good. So I'm excited to leave not in a sad place.
Right. Yeah. Because I believe our next commentary after that is TLJ.
Oh, God.
So Luke dies, so Solo, some people die in Solo.
I'm going to get that high and then come crashing down the next one.
So it's, it's going to be a good time. We'll give you more details in the days ahead and the weeks leading up to it. Like today is the 14th. So we have 11 days. And we'll get you more details on how to get involved with us on that. Basically, it's just following along on the stream. And but yeah, we'll get more details out to you in that.
There's something I need to know before that, though.
Yeah.
So James has been teasing he bought something in the Discord chat, and he has not told us what it is yet. So I would like to know what said thing is, because he's been teasing it.
Wait, let's guess. I believe it is a life-size Jabba the Hutt puppet.
What? I don't know. I'm gonna be super jealous if it's one of like the Target plushes that I can't find anywhere on Galaxy's Edge. But
Galaxy's Edge, okay.
It's not.
Oh, yeah.
It is this.
Ooh, the darksaber.
Yes.
The way you just said that, so what was that?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, don't isolate that.
Because here's the thing.
Ooh, the darksaber.
What was that?
That's how Moff Gideon's going to say it in season 2.
I hate it.
I wanted this when it came out, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I was like, I probably won't buy it, though, because, toys, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I got to the toy store, and I was looking at it, and I was like, man, if there's ever a toy that I should support, it's the darksaber, because I've been a fan of that toy, of that concept for too long.
Mm-hmm.
And finally now they're like, oh, it's in live action now. We can make a toy out of it. So I'm like, all right, well.
I was going to say, how does it feel that it's live action? And you're like, but what about animation?
Demographics,
well, it's
I'm telling you.
Actually, it's funny. There's nothing Mandalorian on the packaging at all.
Really?
Because it's a spoiler. So all of the packaging is Clone Wars and Rebels stuff.
Interesting. I know they've been pushing this kind of generic Star Wars-y packaging. It's like white and blue or something like that, but...
No, it's
light
definitely...
it up. Did you light it up yet?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, it has a cool noise, too.
It's so funny. Are you gonna try to break it like Giancarlo Esposito did?
It looks like a machete. Now that's a knife.
Yeah, it's not the best at recognizing when you're hitting and
Well,
stuff,
it's not like a Force
but it does
FX
do that.
one. It's a step down.
And it does this too when you hit like something and hold it. Like,
James, can you cut a
It's very
sandwich
Power
with that?
Rangers. I don't know if anybody's seen the
Yeah.
Power Rangers toys, like the
Oh yeah, I remember those.
yeah.
Yeah,
I like it too
sword.
because it's kind of shorter,
yeah.
but like it kind of makes it like half knifey. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a knife.
I do have the packaging over there, but yeah, it's got like Sabine Wren holding it. You know, it's like very
Interesting.
Rebels-y and got Maul and on it and stuff from the best lightsaber battle.
Right on.
But
So not a life-size Jabba puppet. That's
I
fine.
wish I had that.
no,
puppet.
that was close.
I
That's
know,
coming.
what I was thinking. All right.
Amazon Prime deal.
So
but-
let's get rock and rolling here and get into the Resistance report.
It's the Resistance.
A little bit of news that I think everybody has been long awaiting, right? Mandalorian season 2 update. Just like all the movies when they come out, you get that either that Variety or that Entertainment Weekly cover story, and it just goes into all the details and stuff. This is the Mandalorian version of that. We finally got it. Entertainment Weekly, like I said, they're doing the story, and they give us just a blast of every different character and what they're up to, and all the creators, obviously Favreau and Filoni, are involved in this interview. It was good. It just it put forth a lot of excitement. I think this is probably if anybody works at Lucasfilm and they're on Twitter, they're probably like, get ready for the Mandalorian promotional campaign.
Yeah.
Like, this is probably the start of it. That's not to be said too that we didn't get all these photos, right? Lots of new photos from the episode that everybody was going in and dissecting, much like we did with the logo a little bit ago. But yeah, John, what did you think of what was the standout here in this? Did you like the photos? You like the article?
I didn't really, the photos didn't wow me. It wasn't like, oh wow, not much seemed new besides Grief Karga having a white beard now, which was a little strange, but I guess he stopped using just for Mando. But I didn't try that one out on Twitter. That's a first there. Yeah, but Favreau's quotes I found interesting because, I watch Game of Thrones, and he actually made a nod to the type of storytelling they did there. And for what people want to hate Game of Thrones for how it ended, but it changed TV. There would be no Mandalorian if it wasn't for Game of Thrones. That's the bottom line. So he said the new season is about introducing a larger story. Stories become less isolated. Each episode has its own flavor. And also he said, as we introduce other characters, there are opportunities to follow their storylines. The world was captivated by Game of Thrones and how evolved its characters follow different storylines. So I think that is pretty telling that might be whole episodes of the show where we don't even see the Mandalorian. Because that's happened on Game of Thrones where you're like, oh my God, we didn't even focus on the main character on this. We were just over on this spot here with these two people and developing them to this point. So we may go on a tangent, whether that's, the Ahsoka thing or other characters we've seen in season 1. So I find that interesting. But also, one thing that kind of slipped through the radar a little bit was Gina Carano saying that she had Pedro Pascal remove his helmet when she was doing dialogue with him when the camera was just on her, so that she can see his face and stuff, which is basically them telling you that Pedro Pascal's in the suit this time. Instead of that one cameo when he takes his helmet off in front of IG-11 at the end of season 1. So he's actually in the suit acting, which makes you wonder, do they just change the Mandalorian's mannerisms to more fit his style, or do they try to tailor him to what the stuntmen were doing and how they walk and stuff? That stuff is kind of important. But I found that very interesting that they kind of slid that in there, because I still feel like they want the main general audience to think that it was always Pedro Pascal, even though the diehards know exactly that he was not in the suit.
Not even diehards. Anybody watch Gallery?
Yeah. Right.
Because we were surprised that they mentioned that.
Right. So I think they want to still keep that on the lower end of things. But I think that's cool that it's confirmed he was acting in the suit, I'm guessing for the most part, besides some big action stuff. So those are my two main takeaways. And of course, my favorite shot is the one of Moff Gideon really focused in on his face. Very Irvin Kershner type of shot. And he looks very pensive. And, that picture could tell 1,000 things. And I'm just, I really have this feeling that he's going to steal the show in season 2, regardless of the conglomerate of old favorite characters and Mando favorite characters that we have coming in. I really think he's going to be the one that steals the spotlight. Baby Yoda aside, of course, but so those are my thoughts.
Yeah, they
so
talked
far.
a lot about Baby Yoda stealing the spotlight in this. What'd you think of the article and the pictures and stuff, Lacey?
I think it's a lot of information. It caught a lot of us off guard because it was like Monday morning and here was all this information. We were like, wait, what? There's Star Wars news and there's tons of it? Great. Because we haven't had much. But the photos, like John said, nothing crazy. They're super cool. I definitely shared all of them and tweeted about them and stuff. But to me, it looks like they're all from the same episode. And we kind of saw this last year with season 1 where Jon Favreau would release information, but the information he would release is a very specific 10-minute time frame. So it gives nothing away. And like all the photos are from the same thing. I think this is the case, is that all these photos are probably from episode 1, I would bet. I love that Baby Yoda is in the little bag, like both on the cover and on like the speeder bike. He's just like in the bag, just chilling. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to steal this season, like they said he would or will. Speaking of Gina Carano, she also mentioned that they brought up all the rumors that have come out, which you knew that was going to happen in this article of like all these people that are supposed to come back. And she said some are true and some aren't. So that's interesting because they list like, I think 6 or 7 people that have been thrown out there.
Rosario Dawson, Tamara Morrison, Katie Sackhoff, and Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, so she said some, but some not. So it could be all of them. It could be one of them. It could be most except one. And whatever. Which is cool. Kind of sad, though, because as you guys know, I'm kind of sad that we know so much about it already before the seasons come out. But I think to me, the most exciting thing of the article was that we're getting 8 episodes. They're all differing in length, which again is super interesting that this show isn't going by standard time frame, which I feel like is the way that the television industry is kind of changing with this video on demand stuff. Like they used to have a specific time frame for cable because they had commercial breaks. So the show would have to be a certain time. Whereas now it's like, oh, well, it's all going up on this platform that people pay to have access to. So you don't have to have commercials. The platform itself is one big commercial. So you don't need to have a specific time. And I feel like, the first season of The Mandalorian, we kind of looked at that as like, this is weird. Why aren't they full hours? Why is this one so short? Why is this one so long? But from the descriptions we got from Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni in this article, I think it's clear that they're thinking more about the story and how it's being told than trying to fit the story into a specific box of time frame or anything like that, which is good. I'm all for like quality over quantity. And then
it feels like Favreau pulling a finger, not pulling a finger, but pulling his weight there. Or not,
I think so too, because
throwing his weight around a little bit.
Because he definitely says that he's, expanding.
I said pull his finger.
I don't know.
And what did I?
I was like, I get what you're saying. He seems like he's definitely in control, which we knew he was. But I think after season 1, he's even in more control. Like he's proven his point. People love it. It's the biggest thing on their platform right now, if not clearly in Star Wars right now, that he can just kind of do whatever he wants. And I love that. I love that flex that Favreau
He's directing the first episode.
What?
He's directing the first episode.
Yeah. So I thought the article was great. I thought the photos were great. I'm super excited. I said this, I think last week on an episode, is like, I miss being excited for Star Wars. And now we're in that period again where we get that buildup of things are coming, which I've missed this year.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy because another piece of news too that we're actually not like talking about, but we can kind of throw it in here too, is the whole like ILM is like expanding the volume and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And they're going to be using it on all these other movies, and it kind of also let you know why they brought in Taika Waititi. It's another reason why he was there, is to get familiar with the software, because he probably already knew at the time. But also in this article, they do talk a lot about how the filming process was completed before the COVID lockdown, and then they moved into how they were doing everything remotely and working in smaller groups, and the score being done like in a very specific way, but yet still was able to pull off what they wanted to go for and all this other stuff.
Can I say this real quick? Ludwig Göransson seems like the first choice you would pick of somebody who'd be totally down with doing his score from his house.
Yeah. No,
he
totally.
wrote the first song from like his couch. Like
I don't think he owns shoes. He's just like,
owns shoes.
no.
He's like super fashionable.
I knew someone one time that like basically did not own shoes. Like they went everywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Everywhere without shoes. Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo. I've been doing that around my house for like a week and a half.
You sound like a juggalo.
I don't know. It's been stuck in my head. So I'll just be like unloading the dishwasher and I'll be like, woo, woo.
Anyway, you gotta get that recorded.
Am I crazy?
I should redo the song, just me doing the sounds.
Did he have the like branding on in season 1? Is that a new thing?
Didn't she give him that? What's her name?
Armor.
Yeah, the armor.
I hate that word.
She gave
Armor.
the signet and said that it was his signet, but I didn't particularly remember it showing up. Like when I look at images, I feel like from season 1 that he didn't have that on there, but he would have had to, right? It looks like it's branded
Someone's
on
gonna-
there.
He got
They'll
it the
correct
me. Am I crazy?
last episode, so
I think he did
You
get
think
it.
it
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
All right, so that's not new. But everybody points out like the leg plate and the torn cape and all that stuff as anytime
Probably
you ever
a
see
time
that in
jump.
the marketing.
yeah.
I don't think so. In this, they said it picks up right where the last one left off.
Well, then they do need to explain the Grief Karga facial hair thing, though. Unless this is one of those things where those aren't finished shots and those are them in like wardrobe.
Well, it's also not to say that it doesn't pick up where it left off and then does a time jump.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
1 to 2.
Right.
That's always a possibility. Other things that I thought were interesting about the article is it looks like Giancarlo Esposito says he does in fact go toe-to-toe with the Mandalorian. So not that he doesn't go with Ahsoka or anything else like that, but I think definitely the fight that I've been imagining in my head is, him with the darksaber and Mandalorian having to like overcome that with all of his Mandalorian skills.
Yeah.
I think that fight is definitely happening. And he also mentions specific one-on-one time with Baby Yoda. So, I mean, I feel like it's a spoiler. I am coming to the conclusion, but to me that screams Baby Yoda gets kidnapped or taken away.
That makes sense because you're not going to kill him. We joked about it, but Baby Yoda, I mean. And
It's going to age Baby Yoda, though. He's going to figure something out to get out or do something, and it's going to take him from a baby to, like, them showing you that he's smarter than he looks.
Maybe that's the time jump then, And the whole tension around season 1 was how many times he was going to get kidnapped or taken or killed. And you can't do that for 2 whole seasons again. Because then it's like, all right, we almost got him again. Almost, they didn't get him though.
Get ready for the memes once Baby Yoda is kidnapped of just
eventually
the
he's gonna.
Mandalorian
Yeah, I
helmet
agree.
Over Liam Neeson with the I will
right.
find you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm calling it.
I
mean,
Someone's gonna do that. It's gonna probably be
I
me.
agree. I agree with you, James. I think it is going to happen. But my last thing on this, and one's serious and one's not, but the serious part is Dave Filoni always gets labeled as the guy who's like expanding Star Wars storytelling and stuff like that. But every time he talks about it, he really simplifies the heck out of it. And he says like, it's just about these core characters and these same tropes that you've always heard. And you're telling a simple story that people get and people know. And that's what made our show work. And it's just that reminder that Star Wars is very simple when you break it down and take all the filters away. It's all about those same relationships and stuff like that, which I like. And the other thing is, if you take a photo of Grief Karga from season 1, and then a photo from him now with the gray beard, it's like you got Apollo Creed, and then you have Chubbs from Happy Gilmore. I feel like he's showing both of his classic
I'm just
characters.
thinking again of the wood hand that gets thrown into the street, and then the truck.
All right.
That happens in like Grief Karga, or not Grief Karga. Moff Gideon cuts off his hand.
Yeah.
Cuts off Grief Karga's hand,
Right.
and then in season 3 he'll have the wood hand. And
The wooden
it'll
hand.
be a reminder,
Right.
yeah.
And he has to tape it all back together because Mandalorian knocks it into the street with the darksaber.
Yeah. Yep.
Woo woo.
This is another article too that I felt that you were right, John, about Dave Filoni being groomed as to take over that position of like a lead storyteller or something along those lines, because there were things in this article that made it seem like they were setting up for that eventual job revelation where it's like, we've announced that Dave Filoni is the guy now.
The guy.
Yeah, it just felt like there were things in this. I hesitate to try to look for them right now, but I remember when I was reading it, I was like, this feels like they're setting up to tell you that he's the guy who gets the story.
Dude, I mean, think about it, right? So, he's looking to progress his career, just from even a financial standpoint. Live action's where the money is. He really has shown his interest in doing more. He said it. He's like, I want to get into live action directing. He shadowed Rian Johnson on the TLJ set for a week or whatever. From a PR standpoint, if Disney is going through all these changes that we're speculating they are, that we've heard that they are behind the scenes and stuff like that, Lacey's heard things, I've heard things, everyone's heard things. Wouldn't it make sense to have him at least involved in part of the new regime of creative? Because then all the people who are like, it's not George Lucas's Star Wars anymore, you can be like, well, it's George Lucas's protege, so you can't really... It's almost like a repellent or like a force field around, like, protecting. Like, Dave Filoni is the best job security in the world. That's all I'm gonna say. I think that's cool. But I also hope Favreau sticks around too. But we'll see about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I hate to dog on Rejwan again, but you know what I mean. Like having Filoni as the senior vice president of live action development. You know what I mean?
Or at least
like
the new creative team or something.
Or something along those lines. Yeah, that could be really cool. Well, there's another story that made very large rounds, and that was the Daisy Ridley guesting on Jimmy Kimmel with Josh Gad co-hosting, or in replacement hosting, or whatever it was. He brought on his old friend Daze to do some more Star Wars questions, and he kind of tackled the, hey, when did you know that you were involved with some of these big spoilers? And they went into the story, and she also kind of revealed in the story that even the team that was kind of working on this were constantly switching ideas, whether on purpose or not, we don't know. But at one point, she said she was, early in the movies, she was maybe pegged to be related to Obi-Wan. And then she kind of was nobody. And then even in the last one, they were kind of like toying with keeping her a nobody or somehow connecting her to Palpatine. And we all know what they went with. So I think this just spawned a bunch of internet discussion, like what they should have done. Lacey, I'm starting with you on this one. What did you think? How did you think people handled this, and how do you even think like Daisy handled it as far as like putting that information out there?
I'm pretty surprised she said this. I'm not gonna lie. I knew she would say stuff about Star Wars eventually, and it's been 8-9 months since the movie came out, so it's like, okay, it's time enough and whatever. But I'm just very surprised she would say this, given the reaction to the Rise of Skywalker and the reaction to The Last Jedi. It's also super confusing with her answer, because she's like, oh, it's kind of was here or there or that or this. But then people took time to like dig through her interviews since 2015 and like piece together her answers to that question for all these years. And she got asked right after the TFA, like by Josh Horowitz from MTV, being like, do you know who your parents are? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. I know. It was pretty obvious. Does no one get it? And then all of a sudden she's a nobody. And now she's like, oh, well, we weren't, it wasn't really clear. And it's like, okay, but that's not what you yourself said 4 years ago. So it was just a little confusing. Besides that, which has nothing to do with Daisy in the sense of it's not her decision whatsoever. I really, really, really wish that Rey was a Kenobi. I've been saying this from TFA to now. I thought that's what the case was. It pointed to it the whole time. And then you go back to her vision. I went back and watched the whole thing with subtitles, and like every quote in that vision is Kenobi. It's like so blatantly obvious that it drives me bananas. And then to
wait, it's obvious that she was a Kenobi?
Yeah. Yes.
Why?
The whole vision, if you go down and you break down...
Oh, the vision?
The vision she has in TFA, all the comments about her being, all the comments related to becoming a Jedi are from Kenobi. Like all the comments, even the end part where they brought in...
Well, Yoda's in there, though.
Yoda is in there for a couple seconds, but I'm saying the one narrative person that's connecting all the different quotes from Sheev, from Yoda, from Luke is Kenobi. It's like Yoda, Kenobi, Sheev.
And they
Kenobi.
use both actors. They use
both actors, yes.
Well, yeah, I think the way to maybe explain that is every other quote that's in there is a reference quote to something else. But his quotes, Obi-Wan Kenobi's, are Rey, which is specifically new line directed at her.
That's not what I'm saying.
And these are your first steps.
Nope, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is every other quote in that vision is from Kenobi. Him talking to Rey. So, to me... We don't have to get into that conversation now. It's very obvious that it was supposed to be Kenobi. And, like, the whole movie, they're going, like, who is she? Who's the girl? Oh. And, like, it's clear that someone important was her parents. And that person wasn't a bad guy. But I digress. That being said, yeah, this really blew up social media, huh? Like, people went nuts with this.
I mean,
because it's just one of those things, like, people search for answers and understanding of why things went the way they did, and at the end of the day, I'm never gonna get the movie exactly how I wanted it. You're never gonna get the movie exactly how you wanted it. It's really unfortunate, but that's just how the process went. One person had it, they passed it off to someone else who killed the main bad guy and removed everything that you thought you knew, which, whether you like his decisions or not, that's what he did. And then he handed it off to another person who did something completely different. It's like a game of telephone. It's like by the time you got to the end of it, you were like, Palpatine's Rey's grandfather? And Lawrence Kasdan's like, wait, I whispered Kenobi. How did you get there?
I said Kenobi.
Yeah, so other than that, it's really great to see Daisy again. She looks really happy. She looks like she's having a great time. Miss ya. Hope she comes back.
Yeah.
But yeah, she said, oh, never say never. But I think she... hinted pretty much like her story had a bow was tied on it, so to speak. It was tied up.
So she wants to put a bow on her second house.
Yeah.
What do you think, John?
Well, first off the bat, it's so funny when you look at Daisy's, her casualness in talking about it, and she was like, and then JJ said I was tied to Palpatine, which is awesome. So she like loved everything. It wasn't like it wasn't like anything. She was like, oh, And then there's like, I'm picturing her waking up the next day and not even thinking twice about it. Meanwhile, all the fans blow up all over social media, and she's just like, that was fun. What am I gonna have for lunch today? Like, it's to the actors, it's not as big of a deal. And sometimes maybe we should keep that in perspective. But it's like Harrison Ford. I don't care who shot first. Okay?
That clip is so perfect.
It is perfect, especially who he said it to. Yeah. But the whole like people saying they should have planned the whole thing out or filmed them all at once, and I get that, I do. I'm sure there have been trilogies and movie series that have been planned out from the beginning that weren't good.
Oh, take that back.
But what if they did do this, and they released them every 2 years, but they had them filmed where they at least had the scripts. And we know how stuff leaks with Star Wars. What if the whole trilogy leaked 4 years ahead of time?
It depends.
Then they're
What's
completely
the ending
screwed.
that's leaking.
No, I would, especially you. All of a sudden now doesn't like leaks. All of a sudden you'd be on board with that. Get out of here. I don't know. Like the what I had always heard, like 2 years ago, I was told that it was JJ's idea to make her a Kenobi, and he wanted to set it up, but he had no intentions of coming back. But he kind of like put it out there, like, there it is. I think she's we're setting her up to be a Kenobi in a sense.
That's why she's British.
Because, I mean, that's a good point that during that vision, the only person talking to her is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Everything else is incendiary comments and old quotes on Star Wars calendars. But then, Ryan takes it and he does this nobody thing. But more than that, when she's on the island, he has her instincts going full and powerfully to the dark.
Right.
You have Luke saying, you went straight to the dark. And that is not a Kenobi trait to me. So I think JJ saw that and he's like, well, it wouldn't make sense then to say, oh, you were a Kenobi the whole time. Then why would she have all these like really dark rooted tendencies? So if you were going to do something, JJ's probably like, well, if she went that full to the dark and they were worried about her power and I've only seen this raw strength and this raw power once before. The Palpatine thing, I hate to say it, makes more sense. Now, the execution, whatever, maybe they should have brought him back earlier, but I think that what Ryan did with Rey, like, just eliminated the opportunity for JJ to make it a Kenobi, I think.
And that's not saying it's good or bad.
No, it's not. But, I mean, if you think about the storytelling process, he's probably like, well, this is what I had thought. I love the twist that they put on her character here, but I don't think a Kenobi would do and go through what she had gone through, where her power instincts were evil. So what makes the most sense? And they were flirting with Palpatine and TFA with the concept arts and the ideas. So they probably rounded that back out. Kathleen's like, this is the perfect time to bring him back in. It's probably this whole thing. And of course, everybody just thinks it's just JJ with the ping pong balls. It's not. So I don't know. It should not be that big of a deal, but Star Wars fans are going to make it a big deal. In the end, it's just nothing's going to change anything. And that's that.
The other thing really quick, which was super interesting to me, which I completely forgot about, was someone sent me an article from EW leading into TFA that's all about Kenobi. And it was written by Anthony Bresnikan saying how it's possible Kenobi had a kid. And could she be Kenobi's granddaughter? And why it's Kenobi. And you're like, oh, wow. And like, he's the main person in the art and all this stuff. And that's leading into TFA.
James, do you remember? We can go back and get the audio for it maybe. But we had Anthony Bresnikan on before TLJ came out.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And we were speculating on Rey and all that stuff. And he's like, I'm just going to say this. I'm paraphrasing here. But I haven't given up on the Kenobi idea yet. And he has recently alluded to have heard things, so who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Lacey, you bring up a hard argument, and I remember people speculating that she was potentially a Kenobi, and I never got that at all from Force Awakens, but to
be fair, I've watched it so many times.
Yeah, but I do feel like that is such a like, it almost seems like something like if you want her to be a Kenobi, you could argue that these points make her look like a Kenobi or something. But I do think it is very odd that and I said this when Force Awakens came out, that there's no reason for Kenobi to be in that force back. He holds no relevance to the story as a whole. So, and I think they just did that as like fans of Kenobi. Now, had they gone the route of making her Kenobi, then I'd be like, oh, well, that's why it was in there. That makes more sense. So the fact that she isn't, I still stand on canonically. It doesn't really make sense why Kenobi would have any reason to come back from the Force to talk to her in this method when he has really no connection to her.
So
I feel like that's weird, but.
Question. What if the original Kenobi story was that explanation?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? That there was
No.
no mention in the sense of like some understanding of something that. So you think she like say they did go that route and it was Kenobi. How would you explain then that he doesn't know that she exists? Or like he doesn't know his
kid. The Kenobi series
kid
takes place when Luke Skywalker is 9 years old, you know?
No, I know. I'm saying like you would have to explain then how he had a kid and didn't know, and then that kid had a kid.
Which would have been a disaster.
I don't know. It's just interesting to think like maybe could that have been a reason?
People have pointed out a particular character in the Clone Wars that looks like a mix between his mom or Satine and Obi-Wan.
Sure.
And he, you know, they've pointed that out before.
And they were saying that Rey would have been the heir to Mandalore then.
Yeah. I mean, there could have been some interesting things there. I mean, look, like I've said before a million times, like whatever Star Wars decides to do, I'm going to be like, okay, that's the story. Cool. I'm gonna figure out a way to make it positive and enjoy that story.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely, going back to like the source of this though, I'm kind of not surprised that Daisy said this, because to me it is just a throwaway comment and it's fans digging into what they don't like about the movies and trying to pick apart this thing, because to me, I mean, I listen to interviews all the time. I just listened to one where they were talking to a director of a movie from like the 80s or whatever, and they were like, what were you guys thinking when you wrote this? And he's like, well, I mean, we weren't, you know, we kind of were doing this and we were doing this. We just kind of thought that was funny. And there's so much that goes into like just saying things off the cuff, like, you know, it's just that Star Wars fans are so crazy, you know, like at one point I was kind of doing the character like this, or I was thinking maybe to model it after this person, but then I kind of landed on more of a like this person kind of thing, you know. And it's like, did you hear that originally the inspiration for this character was going to be this person? I'm like,
this is a big theory. This was a big theory for many, many years leading up to TLJ. I don't think it's crazy that people are like, what could have been? I don't think that's crazy.
That's again that fan entitlement thing though, where fans
I don't
are like,
know if it's entitlement, because I feel that way. I'm like, man, that would have been cool. But
but you're rational. Some fans are like, oh, they should have done that, and this is BS. And I had this theory and nailed it, and they're mad that their theory didn't come true.
This is more proof that they had no idea what they were doing. Is another thing too. And I'm just like,
there is
I think when you're in the process of doing the movie, you're like, look, I'm not doing the sequels, so I'm thinking maybe this is the case, but I don't know. And then Daisy Ridley hears that, and she's like, okay, you know, we'll see where it goes. And then years later, she's like, yeah, at one point we were kind of maybe toying around with this idea, but it didn't happen. We went this direction. And it's like, I don't feel like that's that crazy of a
I think
thing.
The thing that makes it the craziest is not even the possibility of who it could have been that they were playing with, you know? I think it's also that she leads into comments about how JJ didn't know what they were doing, and it kept changing, that even when she was filming, she didn't know. Like, to me, that's a little crazy. Like, how are you supposed to play the part and know what emotions you're supposed to have if you don't know how it's going to end?
She's a pro.
I actually took that as them kind of when they're doing the movie, like having a backup plan and also kind of like playing with both of them for the rest of the crew and things in order to keep secrets.
Well, also, she's a pro. Like, remember her
That's how I
audition
took
tape
it.
where she's being like interrogated? She has no idea what is going on, no idea who's interrogating her, no idea who her character is, and she's crying like the most believable performance I've ever seen. She didn't need to know. She's just an ultimate pro actor. That's what it comes down to.
I agree. Totally agree. 100%. Daisy is top tier. Really, really great.
Remember that video? Have you seen that?
Yeah, of course.
It's insane.
Yeah. I think though that it has to be recognized that there is a level of it wasn't planned, and that things were changing. And I'm not saying that's wrong, and I'm not saying anybody did anything wrong, because I have nothing to do with it. I'm just saying I can understand why people that are unhappy with how certain things went would then go, see, there wasn't a plan.
But
like,
is it Doesn't everyone know that there wasn't the plan though? They were kind of saying that. Like JJ's like, I'm handing it off to Ryan now. Like, and Larry Kasdan, like, he's like, I'm just doing that one, then I'm doing Solo, and then I'm done. And then I think it's the people who didn't get what they wanted don't like that it wasn't planned out. If it wasn't planned out and they got what they wanted, they would have been like, oh, that was awesome. That's such an artistic, creative approach they took on that. It was great.
Well,
it also do with whether the payoff was there for a lot of people, I think.
JJ also handed off Captain Phasma and then publicly said he was very surprised when Rian Johnson decided to kill off that character.
Ryan killed
so it's
everybody.
Like he had, I know, but he had an idea of where he wanted that character to go, or he thought that was a really cool, particular character.
Yeah, we can go down the rabbit hole forever on this stuff, but again, it's just
like I said. I think that I think you said it, John. Like we knew that this was. I'm doing this one and I'm handing it off, and then somewhere along the lines, they knew things were going to change.
Yeah, whether that's great or not, whatever. But
wherever you leave it, like, hey, I created Captain Phasma. I think she's a Kenobi. Luke Skywalker is the greatest in the world. I mean, whatever. Like, they go different directions, and that's just the way that it is. But
I just think it also just points out that maybe
Lacey.
next time, now that they're taking a step back and looking at the series of Star Wars, maybe they should take that step back to a piece of paper and write an outline before they do their next ones, because it was all over the place with some stuff. I love them.
I feel like that's the biggest criticism.
It's super fun. I love them. I love Star Wars. I will defend it till the end of time. There's a lot of loopholes. And
don't forget, George Lucas didn't have an outline either.
I know, that's why Leia and Luke are brother and sister and they kiss in the second one. I get it. But I'm just saying, like,
more than that.
And I'm also assuming too that given some of those little things like Luke and Leia being twins, like, I don't know, man, maybe it could have been seeded better. Maybe it is kind of an odd curveball for the third movie and we're just used to it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we've just known it.
Yeah, but maybe if George would have had the ability to be like, look, here's the thing, we believe in the Star Wars thing, we're going to give you 3 movies, write the movies, he would have...
I'll say this and just leave it as my last thought on this. If Rey and Kylo Ren French kissed in The Last Jedi, and then J.J. Abrams in Episode 9 made them siblings, think about what the internet would have done.
I don't think Leia and Luke French kiss, though. Her tongue doesn't go in his mouth.
Well, yeah, it was an open mouth romantic kiss. Are you gonna argue semantics on that kiss with me right now?
I am.
Luke, after it happens, Luke goes like this.
I'm not saying it was a romantic. I'm just saying it was an open mouth. It wasn't a French kiss.
I'm not even gonna argue.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
People in the comments are going to agree with me.
Yeah, that siblings kiss each other like that? Sure.
No, that's not what I was going to say.
Diddling, ding, 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 ding. All right, come on, let's go.
Couple other things that happened this week that were a little fun and we might want to talk about. Ewan McGregor did come out and said that the Obi-Wan series is in fact filming next spring 2021, and he confirmed that it is, as far as he's concerned, his understanding of it is that it is only 1 season, and which is a surprise to everybody except for Star Wars Newsnet readers, right? John?
Yeah. Yeah. Entertainment Tonight called it an exclusive. That's nice.
Yeah. John reported a very long time ago that it was going to be 1 season and probably limited to about 6 episodes.
Did Ash read your article or no?
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
But yeah, there's that. So if you're hoping for a long-running Obi-Wan series, that's probably not going to happen. Lego announced a Maz Eisley Cantina set. Again, I don't know. I don't get the Lego stuff. I'm not a Lego fan, and I think it's crazy every time they put out a new Lego set because people are like, oh man, $500. There goes my lunch for 7 weeks. Like, I'm like, I don't understand.
That's expensive lunches.
There goes my lunch.
No, it wouldn't be. If you $10 10 times,
I'm terrible at math. Do not ask me.
7 would be $70,
right?
And then $70 times 7 would be $490. That'd be $500.
Oh, if you're going out to lunch every day, that's They're very lavish.
I bring my lunch to work.
I see what you're saying. I mean, I'm thinking of like
Little PB&J.
Yeah, it's my go-to.
But anyway, yeah, I don't get the Lego thing, and every time they come out with a new one, everyone's like, "Dang it, I have to have it." They're just printing money, and I'm like, "Are they? Don't buy it."
I'll say this:
don't buy it.
if someone sent one to us, I would love it because it's so cool. But
yeah,
$400 is crazy to me. But
yeah. Last thing here, Babu Frik is
Lacey
actually
orders it today.
No. I don't collect Legos. I do not. That is the one thing I don't.
Because once you start, I feel like it's one of those things like Funko Pops. Like you need.
It's not even that. It's they're super cool, and I appreciate the people that do buy Lego sets. DJ Elliott does.
Appreciate them.
Yeah, I think they're great. I love you
because you buy Lego sets.
Well, I think Lego fans are really, really enthusiastic more than because, and this is the reason why I don't collect Legos, is because not only do you buy the set, you then have to build it, and I don't have any patience to do that. Like, you have to go step by step. I quit. I bought the Lego movie. Remember the Lego movie came out? They had the double-decker couch that he builds, the master builder guy builds, Chris Pratt.
Such a good idea.
Yeah, it's so funny. It has cup holders. I bought that set thinking it's so funny. I'm going to buy this, and then I can put it on my desk and display some minifigures on it. I got one couch done, and it wasn't even the full couch. And I was like, I quit. It's in a box in my room right now, sitting on the floor, like all the pieces.
So let me ask you this. Would you pay, it takes away the whole spirit of Lego. Would you pay an extra 25% to have it pre-built and delivered to your house?
No.
Like, here's your Mos Eisley, or have someone come over your house and build it for you? Like when they install stuff from like Home Depot?
I like the minifigures because they're super cute. And this one particularly, I think comes with like 21 figures and a speeder and a dewback and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like 3,187 pieces. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's odd. Like, if you're going to make the investment into buying it, then I think you're going to enjoy the aspect of building it. I know Lacey kind of was counterintuitive to that, but I think that's generally where it's coming from. Like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it all the way.
People love that. They like find like, they think it's therapeutic to like sit and just, it's like a puzzle thing. Like, I'm not a puzzle person.
So I've heard people say, I forget, even some of our listeners, I think, maybe in our Discord chat on Patreon, they said...
I mentioned it as one of the things on our live show to do when, like, how can you enjoy Star Wars?
Maybe that
like,
was,
get a Lego set and sit down, like, because I think the idea behind it is, like, I bought this thing and my wife is out of town and I am locking myself in the room and I'm good 2 days straight to
That's what you're doing if your wife leaves, is building Legos.
I mean, when are you going to build it if your family is in the house? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're not going to have time to do it. So when you have your free time, you're like, dude, I'm doing it. This is the weekend. I'm going to build that whole thing and it's going to be great.
I guess you're just...
Or I'm inviting my friend over and we're going to do it together. It's very Spider-Man. Like, come over to my house. We'll build the Death Star.
Yeah.
Very last thing, and this is funny because it goes back into Lacey buying things. Babu Frik is at Target. Pre-orders available. Talking plush. Lacey, did you manage to get one, or were they sold out?
I bought 2. I needed it, so I bought it as soon as they announced it.
What's the old Black Series thing, like one to display, one to play?
Actually, it's one to display, one to give away.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, Lacey asked us when she was picking them up.
I didn't even wait for them to respond. I just bought it. I just asked
responded.
to be nice. No, but I'm saying, like, I didn't wait. I just bought it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think whenever that arrives, or we'll figure out some way to do it, but we're probably going to be doing a giveaway for the Babu Frik, the talking plush that is at Target.
We do a retweet contest and just say Babu click.
Yeah, something like that.
I hate you. Can I just get a yellow lightsaber, please? Like, what do I need to do, Hasbro?
It's coming. It's coming.
What do I need?
It's coming.
You probably should do the Patreon pod race.
Oh. All right.
Boom! That's it for Resistance Report this week. Lacey.
Yeah. So it's time for the Patreon pod race. Yeah. So there's lots of ways you can support us. You can like, comment, subscribe to this video on YouTube. You can follow us on all the different platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Podcasts are us. I don't know. And you can follow us on Instagram at The Resistance Broadcast, right? Yes. And then on Twitter at RBATSWNN. There's lots of ways. But you can also, if you want more, go to patreon.com/resistance broadcast, where we have, over 8 exclusive mini episodes a month. I would say 8 is on the low end. Like, we put out 2-3 videos a week on top of our episodes.
And then the Q&As.
Yeah. And much more. So it starts at $2 a month and goes up to a top tier. So I want to start by saying thank you to our top tier, which is our generals. So thank you, Carmelo, Andrew Staley, Jeremy Myers, Neil Shaw, David Probus, John Reese, Micah Harrison, Jetta Rosewater, Michael Gaines, Bethany, Russ Harbison. Yes, that's correct. And Kendall Gelner. I'll get it eventually. All right. So then the point of this segment is we give our generals a chance to be on the show and answer a fun question, and then we react to it. So this week, we have General Jeremy from California, and we asked him, if you took over the Millennium Falcon, what customizations would you make to the inside of the ship to suit your style/personality? Jeremy, take it away.
What's up, Resistance? How you guys doing? Taking a break here at work. Smoky, ash raining California. I definitely would need fantastically upgraded bar on my Falcon. I'm gonna be running from some baddies, be making a bunch of runs, smuggling, doing those kind of things. So I'm gonna need to come back. I'm gonna need a good cocktail, or 3 or 5, something where I can put my feet up on the old holographic chess table, relax. Maybe even if they could figure out how to do a spa where you have like a cover that holds the water in when you're doing flips on these runs. But a way to relax. Nice like mineral hot tub in my super loaded out bar. I think that's the way to go for me. Very much a cocktail drinker on tough days. So that's all I got. Hope you guys are well. Missed you guys in the whole celebration. Look forward to seeing you guys soon.
All right. Nice job, Jeremy. John, as the creator of Make Solo 2 Happen, what did you think of his answer?
Well, what's funny about that is I would probably say the same thing.
I think I would too.
Yeah, so like a hot tub and then also a bar.
Hot tub.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is so amazing. So, yeah, I liked your answer, Jeremy. First of all, I hope you're doing, like, California's on fire, I guess. So I hope you're doing all right, man.
Gender reveal party.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, upgrading the bar, very key. Having some cocktails after a smuggling run, cool out a little bit, and then hop in the spa. Yeah, man.
A mineral spa.
Yeah, I think those are 2 great ideas.
A back to spa.
Oh, I would take it back to tank. I put that in my thing. Yeah, I would get rid of both gun turrets and make it one giant tunnel of Bacta, and then just hang out my Bacta tank. No, but Jeremy, great job on. I had a feeling that you were gonna just hit something cool on this one, so I wanted to give this one to you. But yeah, and I know you missed out on the virtual cantina and on the live stream stuff, but maybe on Friday the 25th you're around, and I know you're a big Solo fan, so you could join us for that live commentary and that party. So anyway, we miss you too, man, and great job as always. Thanks for your support. Be well, be safe. My best to you and the kids and the fam.
James?
No, I mean, it was a good one. I don't know. I would not put in a bar, obviously. I don't know what I would put in, actually, but I did like the idea of the hot tub, though, because the hot tub is one of those things that I always tease my wife about, like, that's the next big purchase we're going to make, but it never is.
Hot tub time machine?
Yes.
I actually love that movie.
Like, such a weird borderline movie, right? Like,
I love it.
Is it good or is it not?
I like
and it's
it. The whole time where they're trying to figure out how that guy loses his arm.
Well, I know that actor Clark Duke wants to get in a time machine and go back to when he had a career. That's for sure.
All right.
Wow. Went real harsh. No, but I felt when you said probably put it in the bar or whatever, I was like, very Lando of you. It was like one of the things that Lando was very proud of having added to the Falcon. So yeah, that was a good one. I like that one. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks
for being the
Jeremy.
general.
You did a good job. I think the hot tub is not only a decision that you would make, but I feel like Han would also love a hot tub. You imagine the trouble Han would get in with a hot tub.
Do you think like his post being frozen thing, he always wants to be warm, so he like put it in a hot tub?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we appreciate you supporting us. Thank you so much. And now we're gonna head to Lacey to do resistance transmissions.
Don't do it.
Thanks, Lacey. Appreciate it. It's time for resistance transmissions. All right, guys. The way this works is every week, John puts up a crazy, wacky situation, and you guys give your answers on Twitter at RBATSWNN, and then he picks what he thinks is are the best ones. You're all wonderful. And I read them on the show, and I don't know what the scenario is. I don't know what's going on, and we'll see what happens. All right. So the situation is after Corde was blown up. Oh my God. Posing as Padme put an ad out looking for a new bodyguard / double. Knowing it's not exactly a popular job, what does she write in the description to entice people to apply? Did you make this image?
I made the image.
In paint?
Paint.
And so you guys at home know it's a screenshot of a behind the scenes, because there's blue screen, from Attack of the Clones with Natalie Portman and the guard guy, and then
Typho.
Corde on the ground blown up with her hair all like messed up, and it's just an arrow and it says, "This can be you."
That's a cosplay I want to see at a future celebration. Dead Corde.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. First
Hair's all
up
messed up
is
and stuff.
yeah, Liam Brazier at Liam Brazier. Hey Liam, love your art. Liam said, "Would you like a job to die for? Call now."
To the point.
Next up is Matt at MIB1188, and Matt said, "Adventure? ? Excitement? A swanky."
You don't have to say. You don't
I
have to
always
say
say
question
mark. A swanky suite at the Galactic Senate? ? Do you crave such things? See if you have what it takes to be a senatorial body double. Apply today. Don't let this chance blow up in your face.
How come you didn't say the exclamation
That's pretty good.
point?
Because the thing is sometimes people can't tell that you're asking a question, so I add the question mark.
They
Well,
can't.
that's your fault. If somebody goes
All right,
adventure,
this isn't Criticize Lacey segment. This is just let's have fun and read people's answers segment.
Period.
All right. So next is Beer Fett at beer_fet. Hey Bethany. She said, "I've been dying a little I've been dying a little bit each day since a certain Jedi Knight came back into my life. ... So I'm looking for a new bodyguard to pose as me while I sneak away for some me time. No questions asked."
yeah,
Making
you gotta think they knew what was up.
Yeah.
They definitely did. They just hit it better than everybody else.
Making those twins.
All right. We heard it the first time. We just ignored it, John, so you don't have to repeat it.
Did Anakin ever come in and like hit on one of the body doubles? I bet it happened.
Oh, he would never. He's so loyal to her. Like,
Yeah, but he
No,
probably came
no,
home
no.
drunk one
No, no,
night
no.
and he forgot. He didn't know that it was.
all right,
the
let's
double.
not. No. All right. Next up is John Reese at John
I meant in
S.
an innocent
Reese.
way.
I didn't.
Like he didn't know the difference. Like he's like, oh, John S. Reese.
And John said, "Apply to be my new handmaiden. A recent departure," in quotes, "needs filled." Oh, yeah, needs filled. Also, there is no chance of an untimely death. Seriously. Next up is Kendall-Obi at Galactic Curator. Hey, Kendall. He said, tired of your current squad just not taking fashion seriously? Want to literally look and live like a queen? Single with no family to miss you? Okay. Pack up your things and holla time us at 555-555-555-55547 for this exciting opportunity. That's quite the Star Wars phone number.
It's like 18 digits.
Yeah, all the fives like movies.
Yeah. Next up is TC Restani at After Hours TC. Ooh, do you have another handle that's like during business hours and then he switches over?
Business TC.
Wait till you read their message.
Just After Hours PC or TC. Anyway, he said, or they said, bodyguard wanted. Must look like me and have a strong tolerance for assassins, bounty hunters, and horny Padawans.
What is going on?
You guys get crazy. And last but not least is Jim Corbett at jcorb3tt83. And Jim said, do you resemble Keira Knightley or Rose Byrne? Follow this link to ZipRecruiter and reply. Or apply.
That's all it takes.
That is all it takes.
That's all it takes.
They said that when Keira Knightley was in the costume, their parents couldn't tell them apart.
I believe it.
Anyway, thank you guys for your answers. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at RBATSWNN and wait for the scenario every week. John puts it up usually on like Wednesdays, right? Wednesdays-ish.
Tuesday or Wednesday, yeah.
Back to you, John. Bring it home.
Jesus. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching or listening, being a part of TRB. We hope you had a good time with us here. As you can tell, we obviously had a silly good time. Make sure you subscribe to us. As Lacey mentioned before, you can do that right here on YouTube if you're watching, or SoundCloud, Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, whichever app you prefer. It's free. We got 2 episodes every week. And of course, coming next month, the Mando Fan Show on Friday. So 3 times a week. You don't want to miss what we got going on. So subscribe for free and enjoy us there. You want to go to StarWarsNewsNet.com every day for all of your Star Wars news, reviews, editorials, information, and more, especially as things start to heat up as Mando comes closer. Teespring.com/stores/Resistance Broadcast if you want to buy some of our merch. Like we said, later on this month, we're going to have the Make Solo 2 Happen pins coming. We also have, obviously, our Make Solo 2 Happen shirts and a lot of other stuff there as well. So go check that out and pick up what you like. And hoodies, too. It's starting to get cool out where we are. So grab a hoodie. They're very, very comfy. You guys can find me on Twitter at Johnny Hoey and at StarWarsNewsNet.com. I don't know why. It's not back there. I don't know why I did that. And talking like JJ in my free time. James, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Meyer Trunks.
Nice.
It's actually not over there. I don't know why I did that.
The darksaber is over there, I guess. But
it's right here.
Lacey?
Before I give you where I am, if you guys are looking for cool stuff to get ready for our solo thing at the end of the month or Mando Fan Show, want something to match with your shirts from our store, head over to jewelrybrands.shop and use TRB at the checkout, and you'll get 10% off. They have really cool stuff from all the different movies. So if you're looking for anything, they have it. Like literally.
I got the light up Millennium Falcon pin.
Yeah. It's super
Sick.
cool.
I was on there today looking at stuff just to browse around.
Yeah, it's fun. They get new stuff all the time, so definitely check back. And we'll have a contest with them later this month. So stay tuned for that. So TRB at the checkout.
Boom.
Yes. But you can find me having a great time on the internet at Lacey Gillerin on Twitter and Instagram.
All right, that'll do it for us. We will see you on Thursday morning, where we're going to be joined by Ming Chen, who is going to be joining us. You know him probably from Kevin Smith's Comic Book Men on AMC, which is now on Amazon. He's going to nerd out with us. We're going to have a good time kind of blending the world of comics and Star Wars. He's a huge Star Wars fan himself, so it's going to be another fun episode like we had last Thursday for you. So we're really excited for that. So for now, just enjoy your weeks, and I hope everyone's doing well out there. We'll see you Thursday morning right here on the Resistance Broadcast. We'll see you around, kids.